Hey everyone, welcome back to Drawing Workout. Today we're going to go over drawing freehand lines. So we're not using any tools here, no rulers. If you've ever tried to draw straight lines and you end up with like wiggly or shaky lines, don't worry. After today you're going to draw straight lines like a pro. So again, if you watched the how to draw circle video, we're going to start off with the grip, and I'll probably go between the tripod grip and the overhand grip on this, but I'm going to start with my overhand grip. So again, like we did in the freehand circle drawing video, we're going to ghost our lines first. So what we're going to do is hover our pencil over our paper. We're going to visualize a starting point and an end point. And we're just going to go over a few times without touching the pencil to the paper. So again, here we're just kind of visualizing where we want to put that line down. And remember, we're not drawing from our wrist here. We're using our shoulder. So again, our wrist is almost going to be static. We want most of our movement to come from our shoulder. So when we're ready to draw the line, we're going to keep a fluid motion. We're going to go from ghosting to putting down our pencil and making our mark. Let's go ahead and try it. I'm going to draw a line here. So again, I'm visualizing the starting and end points, and then when I'm ready, I'll put my pencil down and keep one fluid motion. Don't stop. If you notice that your lines are not straight, maybe they're bowing a little bit. I think that's a very common mistake, to draw lines that look like this. That's okay. We know that this is not the result we want, so we're going to have to compensate for that a little bit. And it might take some practice, but you'll get it. So again, we're going to ghost our line. When we're ready, put our pencil down and make our mark. Now I know there are some artists who like to rotate their paper. If you don't feel comfortable drawing lines in all directions, I think rotating your paper is perfectly acceptable. I tend to draw on large sheets of newsprint, so it's kind of difficult for me to rotate them. So I've just had to learn to draw straight lines in all angles. But again, if you need to rotate your piece of paper, that's okay. And again, we're not aiming for perfection here. It's never going to be as perfect as using a ruler. But again, you're going to want to practice drawing straight lines, or as straight as possible, because this is going to be very helpful. We're going to use these marks to create other types of shapes later on, like cubes and pyramids, or even cylinders. So this is going to be very, very helpful for us in the future. Now there are several variations of this exercise that we can do. Let me grab another piece of paper here. So if you don't want to draw just simple straight lines, we can also draw shapes. So we can do some triangles. Again, I'm going to treat each line as its own object almost. So this is one line here, and then my second line, and then my third line here. And we can vary the shape, or the size of the shape. We can also play around with the value. So maybe we want to draw some darker lines here, or the thickness of the line. So here I have a fairly thick line, and maybe I want to do some thin lines. Another shape we can do is just a rectangle or a square. And this is a little bit more difficult than it looks. You know, trying to get these lines here and then these lines on the side to be parallel, it can be tricky. So I'm probably never going to get it right the first time. So again, I'm keeping my lines kind of light, and then when I'm ready, let's say I like this shape, I can go ahead and try to straighten things out a little bit, draw some darker lines on top of my construction lines here. You know, it's not easy, but again, we're not aiming for perfection. We just want to be able to draw some good enough shapes here. And of course, the more you practice, the better you'll get. So this is just one variation of this exercise. Let's try another one. Or we can also do what's called connecting the dots. And I'm going to switch over to a fine liner here. Let's just draw some dots on our paper. I hope you guys can see those. Draw them a little bit bigger so they're easy to see. I usually draw more than this, but for this example, I'll just go ahead and draw a couple. And what we're going to do is try to connect our dots. So again, same method, right? We're going to ghost. We're going to kind of focus on, I like to focus on my target, so I know where my starting point is, and then you know, I don't really look at it. I'm looking at my target. There's my first line. And again, it's never going to be 100% accurate, you know. Like this line is not great. It's kind of bowing a little bit, and then here I go completely off target. But that's okay, you know. Again, let's not be very hard on ourselves. Let's not try to correct this. Instead, we have to kind of analyze what we're doing and ask ourselves, how can I make it better? And the longer the lines are, the more difficult it is. So with these shorter lines, it's a little bit easier to maintain that accuracy, but as we go longer, it becomes a little bit difficult to keep control. So again, with this, you just go ahead and connect the lines. Again, this is another very fun exercise. And there are other connections that I can make here, but I think we get the point. So let's go ahead and explore another exercise that we can do. So another one is radiating lines. So let's draw a point here at the center of our paper. And this is going to be our start point, and we're just going to draw lines that radiate outward. We can just keep dividing these segments. There we go. And we can keep dividing this, we can take this as far as we want. But I'm going to pause here. I think we get the point. But again, this is another helpful exercise for drawing straight lines. Let's do one more. So for this one, we're going to draw parallel lines. And we're just going to draw lines in every direction, but we're going to try to keep them parallel. So again, remember the steps that we did earlier. We're going to ghost our line, put our pencil down or our marker, whatever you're using, and draw your line. So then we're gonna draw more lines below this and try to keep them as parallel as possible. Also try to keep the spacing as even as possible as well. So let's draw some vertical lines. Let's make these a bit longer. And experiment drawing from top to bottom or from bottom to top. Maybe one way might be easier. Also draw some diagonal lines. And here we're focusing on keeping the lines as parallel as possible. You can even go back and try to draw lines in between existing lines. Let's draw some here. So yeah, these are several variations. Again, I encourage you to practice drawing straight lines every day for a few weeks. And once you're comfortable with this, you can keep this exercise in your toolbox. So again, anytime you sit down to draw, you can start with this, and this always makes a good warm up. If you're tired of drawing circles, you can go and start drawing, some of these exercises. Again, I think warming up is always a great way to start any drawing session. So we're just adding more tools to help us improve. Remember, just keep practicing. It's not easy, so this is something that takes time. It takes time. As you can see, I've been doing this for several years, and my lines are not perfect. So we're not aiming for perfection. We're just aiming for consistency here. That's it for today. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. See you on the next one.